Just
Hello.
earlier marveling at your workout after the bye week, deadlifting and doing box jumps. So Hugh said he was impressed. Is that your normal routine?
Yeah, that's my normal vet day. So, I know a lot of people think I just sit here and just chill and drink Gatorade, but I actually try to use that day to get a little better.
Trent, I was just asking Christian the confusion that Detroit brings defensively. I think 3 of the 4 sacks that they had on Sunday, the pass rusher went untouched. Is that a reflection of kind of that confusion that they can cause?
Yeah, I mean, some of those wasn't even confusion. It was just challenging the weakness of the protection. So, yeah, they mix it up. They're not afraid to bring 6. They're not afraid to bring 7. I think bringing 5 is a norm for them. So that's what keeps it confusing. They bring guys, they drop guys out. They drop a big guy out, bring a small guy. So, and that's just, it's up to us not to play into their hands and not be behind the chains and getting the third and long a lot.
Last week you're talking about how hard it is to kind of climb the mountain every year and keep getting to this point over and over again. How much urgency, I know you're always urgent, but how much urgency does it add to, after being there multiple times and coming up short to break through and get to that next level?
Honestly, man, if your urgency isn't on level 10, if it wasn't on level 10 last year, if it wasn't on level 10 the year before, it's probably not going to be on level 10 this year. So I think nobody needs any extra motivation. We talk about championship week. We talk about 4 teams out of 32 being left to prove they're the best. I think the urgency is a given. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just about going out there and taking advantage of the opportunity and trying to play mistake-free football, because ultimately that's going to be the difference. All these teams are good at this point. It's about who makes the less mistakes.
Kyle said earlier that he felt like that urgency, he notices it showing up even in the off-season. I'm wondering how it's affected you in terms of, when it's maybe you want to do that little extra workout or whatever. And as a team, do you see guys putting in more of like, hey, we need to do everything we can because that climb is so difficult?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, so if you've been there, you know what it takes to get back there, right? So, we've been there, obviously, the last 2 years. So, starting in OTAs, you kind of know, and then you kind of got to have control, too, because you want to get it all back in one day, right? You want to win a championship first day of OTA. So, you got to have patience and understand this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, you need a little luck. But for the most part, it's all about focus and being able to set a standard and being able to get to that standard every Sunday.
Do you guys like it when the opposing defense brings an extra rusher to try to stop your passing game?
Yeah, because that means that the more rushes you bring, the less you have in coverage. And I like our guys when they can get the ball in their hands with only one guy in their vicinity, or if they only got to beat one guy in a lot of open space. So, it's one of those things where you can live by, you can die by. For us, it's a challenge, and we welcome the challenges, and it's why you got to be on it. It's why you can't play into their hands and get behind the chains, because they can make your life hard.
Colton's probably going to get Hutchinson, I would imagine, in this game a lot, and that means you're probably going to get Pascal and Kaminsky on your side. What do they look like on film? What stands out about their game to you?
About all of them, or just Pascal and Kaminsky?
Pascal, Kaminsky,
Well, they're more so what we would call 3-4 ends, so they're more so interior guys, and they kick out, depending on the formation of the defense. So 79 or 93, they be playing 4-eye, 3-tech majority of the game, and then some looks they'll kick out the end. So they're just bigger. They're bigger guys. They can press the pocket. All of them play like their hair is on fire. Nobody takes a play off. They're a great complement to 97 on the other side, because he often gets pressure and kind of flushes the quarterback right to those guys that's compressing the pocket. So they have a good rush plan, man. Obviously Colton, I'll probably see him too, I'm sure. But anytime any place 97 lines up, you got your work cut out for you. He doesn't stop. He's a great player. So we definitely got to be locked in.
Trent, how much do you enjoy the moments, the small moments, like walking out of the tunnel with Debo, the music blaring before a big game like you're gonna have on Sunday?
Yeah, I enjoy all of it, man. At this point in my career, I don't take it for granted. Any chance I can go out there and play you know, any game with this team, you know, I'm grateful for it. I thank God all the time just for this opportunity in itself. So yeah, it's the best feeling in the world, man. Coming out to this stadium, see a red, fans just going crazy. You know, it's one of those things when you lay down at night, it's kind of thing you kind of go through your head when you're thinking about, you know, all the things that just happened.
Here's back to 2010. You're drafted. You have a young offensive coordinator, Kyle
2010.
Shanahan. What's your earliest memory of him, or you know, meeting him, and you know, what can you say about the relationship you've had for decades now?
You know what's crazy? The thing that stands out to me was his swag. Obviously, in 2010, you didn't meet too many 30-year-old coordinators. So him walking in with Jordan shorts and Jordan's on, that was a shock to me. So that stood out to me, and I've always thought about it over the years. But, you know, just seeing he always was a brilliant mind. Anytime he spoke football, anybody would listen. Everybody listened. You know he knew what he was talking about. But just seeing him mature and seeing him add different facets to the offense and kind of take his dad's offense that was world-renowned and kind of make it his own and you know, just seeing how he coaches the team, how he leads, and how he prepares his team week in and week out. You know, I mean, we're super close, but I couldn't be any more proud of him. You asked me 14 years ago, I probably would have never seen this coming, but, you know, I just think it's so dope that he's one of the best coaches in the league, and he literally, you know, handpicked me in 2010, and, you know, we've been – obviously, I hadn't played for him every year, but every year I've been in the league, I've been in touch with him, and we've always kept in touch, always kept a great relationship.
Penei Sewell's game and just the success that he's had at such a young age.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite guys to watch. You know, he reminds me a lot of myself. He emulates a lot of the things that I do, which impresses me because, you know, we never even really worked together personally. So, you know, that means he watches film. It means he's intelligent. He knows when to bring certain things out. So, you know, he's always been one of my favorites ever since he was in Oregon. Then seeing his maturation from year 1 to year 2 and to now, you know, I just think he's taking giant leaps. And I think he's, you know, he's one of the better right tackles you'll find, not just in the league today, but, you know, in recent memory, honestly.
How is Debo today at practice? And then how does him being on the field with Christian, can you feel how it affects the defense when you're out there?
Yeah, I can, just for the simple fact when you see them guys get the ball and you see what they do with it. But, you know, I don't know how the defense approaches it any different. You know, I'm in a box and looking at a DN or a D tackle 24/7. So, you know, but having Debo, I mean, it's like saying you want one playmaker or two playmakers. You know, it's anytime you got two out there, you're gonna reap the benefits of having two. And, you know, we have three. Luckily for us, we got 3 or 4, so we can keep them fresh. But, you know, those guys they just present such challenges for the defense because you got to know where everybody's at. You know, normally you got to know one guy at maybe 2. You know, on this offense, you got to know where 3 or 4 guys are at it at all times, and it's hard.
You just talked about how enjoyable it is to run behind you. How enjoyable is it for you to block for him?
Oh, man, it's blocking for the best running back in the league. I mean, it makes our job so much easier. You know, like even the game-winning touchdown, that guy is unblocked in the hole, and, you know, obviously that could have been a first down. He would have still been cheering, but, you know, for him to make that guy miss and we say that's yours, we can't block all 11. You got to leave one. And we tell the running back all the time that, you know, you got to take care of one. And 99% of the time, he's going to take care of his. So, you know, if you can hold on to your guy for that split second, let him get through the line, he's going to create havoc.
Thanks, Trent.
All righty. Appreciate y'all.
Howdy.
George, is the constant drumbeat of disrespect for Brock, do you think, a good thing maybe for him just to – he seems like he's a guy who admits that he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Think he'll have a positive effect?
I don't think it'll have a negative effect. I don't think Brock really listens to too much. Like, I don't think he uses any type of social media very much. And, you know, I think he's kind of like me. You don't really read anything unless your mom sends you it. So, you know, I think Brock's just going to be dialed the way that he has been all season, the last 2 years for us. And, you know, people can say whatever they want to say, and he's just going to go out there and be Brock.
Or like the 4 teams left all rely pretty heavily on the tight end.
That they do.
Is that a coincidence, do you think, or is something about the position, or what do you think of it?
I feel like if you look back at, most of the last Super Bowl winners, every team has like a very, very talented tight end that they use, whether that's run game or in the pass game. Tight ends they give you an ability to mismatch different, you get on linebackers, you get on safeties. You want to use two guys to cover them. It doesn't matter. It opens up other people. So when you have someone that can dominate the middle of the field, it makes it a lot easier on your quarterback.
What do you think of LaPorta? Obviously, you know him pretty well. What stands out about him?
I mean, Sam's fantastic. His film speaks for itself. He's second-team All-Pro, Pro Bowl in his first year as a rookie. That's really hard to do. Not very many people do that. He's playing at a high level. He's in an offense where, the quarterback trusts him. They throw him out there on third down. He's running wide receiver routes. He's inside, dominating the middle. He's doing everything that you want him to do as a rookie and more. So, I'm very proud of Sam. And, I hope he doesn't have a great game against us, though.
You were a pretty big supporter of his throughout the pre-draft process over the summer.
Yep.
Is there just anything that's even surprised you maybe about the success he's had, given the difficulty of adjusting to that position?
No, not really. I mean, I worked out with him a little bit this offseason, picked his brain a little bit. He's a super smart kid. And just watching him work out, I could tell, he was ready for it. He's got a sick forward lean to him. He knows how to run in and out of cuts, catches everything with his hands. I knew he was a player just watching him. You could see it in college, but just working out, when he's working out with all these other NFL guys, you could tell, he didn't stand out in a way oh, this is a college kid. He looked like he was a guy who understood what he was doing. So he has an understanding of the game. He has an understanding of what the Lions want from him. And, when you put him out there with, Coach Campbell and, their mindset, I think he fits the mold perfectly, and he kind of adds to that mold himself. So, I mean, he's everything that you want in a tight end that can do everything.
This is your fourth NFC Championship in 5 years. Is there a different vibe to it, or a confidence or hunger compared to those past ones?
No, I've been pretty hungry at all of them. I won one, lost two. It's not really fun to lose those games. So, no, I've been pretty hungry for him. I think the whole team is. The whole vibe is, we have a confidence that we've built throughout the season. It's not a fake confidence. It's we've played football at a high level this long. Let's just keep going out there and play football at a high level, play a team game this weekend. Huge fan of our game plan this week. I think Coach Shanahan's definitely, he's working, and I think that's great for us. So, no, I don't know if the vibe's different. It's just a vibe that we understand not the pressure of the game, but just, where we are, the situation. We're in the NFC Championship game, and, all we're going to do is go out there and play our best football and see where it takes us.
Put in perspective how difficult it is to make this climb 4 times in 5 years to get to this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Everything has to kind of go your way. You look at 2019 and, that season, you can't really even compare it to this year. And, we go to the Super Bowl, lose, and then 2020, hey, we got all these players back. We're going to go out there and win. And then ball doesn't bounce our way, and we, have a bunch of injuries, and it's things you can't control. So then 2021, probably week 6, no one really thought we were going to go anywhere, and ended up somehow back in there again. And every year is just so unique. That's what makes it so difficult. You might have similar players and guys who know how to win football games, but when you look at, other role players and stuff like that, it's changing. You can't keep everybody, you can't pay everybody, you have to fill gaps, you have to bring new guys in, you have to try to keep your culture. There's just so many things that go into it. We lose our run game coordinator, lose our offensive coordinator, lose your defensive coordinator. There's just so many interchanging parts, and so to continue and sustain winning, as many regular season games as we do, making it into the playoffs, it's very difficult. But at the end of the day, you got to continue to win all the other ones, and we haven't done that yet.
Understanding the pressure of the situation, but what does it do when you maybe haven't got over the hump yet in terms of, hey, how many more opportunities are we going to get to be in this spot?
I try not to think of it like that. It's just, hey, here's the opportunity. It's right in front of us. This is what, since the end of last season, this is where, hey, what are we going to do to try to get back there and, try to win that game? And all the effort you put in throughout offseason OTAs, summer, training camp, every single day, every decision that you make kind of leads to this moment. And, hey, we're here. We made all the right decisions, and we've done the right things. And so what are we going to do as a team to win this football game? And I have a lot of belief in our team that we're going to go out there and do all the right things.
On the coaching front, I guess how impressed have you been with the way Kyle has, you said you've lost a lot of guys. How impressed have you been with the way Kyle has brought new people in and sort of kept things seamless?
I mean, it's pretty incredible. I mean, it really speaks for itself what him and John have done, just filling in gaps, bringing in new guys, giving people chances. And I think what Kyle just does such a great job of is, he looks at what he has available to him, no matter what it is, no matter what the injuries are, and the way he can build game plans around people to put people in positions to succeed. It's pretty incredible. And just to be a part of this offense, to see how it's grown, to see like how his play calling has kind of changed or how it's evolved, whatever you want to say it is. It's just really fun to be a part of that. And for him to be able to constantly fill gaps, bring the people in, but at the same time, keep the culture the way it is, keep the mindset the way that it is, be as physical, be as fast as you possibly can, and go out there and play at your best ball. He does a pretty damn good job for that. And I'm actually pretty disappointed he hasn't been Coach of the Year yet.
With regards to your dad's pregame letters, does anything surprise you anymore? And do you expect a tone? Like, do you know what's coming, or is it something different every time?
Usually, like the bigger the game, the more aggressive it is. So I'm always a huge fan of that. There's times where he's kind of like, the turtle from Kung Fu Panda? Very wise, very like sage-like. And then there's times where it feels like you're getting a speech to go into a bunker, with your boys, and there's bombs coming down around you. Like the mindset's very, very different, game to game, and I really appreciate that from him because he either adds to my mindset or he gives me another thing to think about in a good way, and it's part of the switch I just flipped.
George, Kirby, Joseph, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. These guys, they're super physical, and they're taking big hits. Do you guys feel the need to match their physicality in this game, or is it not about that?
I think what the 49ers put on tape week in and week out is that we're one of the most physical teams in the NFL. I've been up here countless times and I've said that, so they're a very physical team. They go out there and they hit. They do all the things that they're supposed to do, and I feel like we do the same thing, so I don't think we need to match it as well as we just need to play our game.
What kind of energy did Debo give you today being on the practice field?
Debo's always great. He's just excited for him to be out there. He's just such a huge part of our offense and everything that we do, and just his energy itself is infectious, and he gets guys going, he gets them confident. Him and BA together is its own, it's its own thing entirely. So very excited to have Debo out there, and looks great. Thank you. Hi, Nick. Not mine.